Baby, here we are. Skipper at the Press, episode 2, the Queensland face mask. How's it all going, bro? How good's that Queensland face mask you going on?
Yeah, look, it's the only one I had. I had to go get a swab this morning so I can get out of the jail cell. As you can see, been locked up for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, really excited to get out and get amongst it all in Queensland.
Yeah, good to be back home. And where are you now? You're back in Sunny Coast?
Yeah, back in Twin Waters at the partner's house. So just low-key holding it down for 3 days. And then
beautiful,
ready to get into the public and live like a human being for once.
Have a bit of fun, eh? You and the First Lady just kicking back?
Yeah, just kicking back. It's been a hard 3 days trying to convince her that I was a good boy. But, it is what it is.
All right, let's get into a few of the questions. Then we've got a few questions from the D-Gens. I want to talk about one thing that I forgot to mention when we spoke last time after game one. What were the details behind the now infamous phone call to Wayne Bennett about extending and getting the extra day? Run us through how that convo went and how Wayne the GOAT was with you in camp following that conversation.
Yeah, Scopey, it's pretty much of a blur, very vague memory, to be honest. But I do have moments of it where I was sitting there signing jerseys for the premiership, and I had Cooper on my left and Brett on my right. And you would know, being in Byron, it doesn't take too much to convince me to have a beer. Brennan just goes, mate, let's just make a meal of it, and we'll go to Byron for a night or two, and let's just celebrate a bit more. And I was like, oh fuck. And then I had Cooper John's in my end, and he's the best of getting up a motivational speech and getting you up. So he got me up, good. And I just remember ringing, and the call didn't take too long. It was pretty much, mate, just get your fucking ass here. It didn't really go down too well. But when I got back in the camp, it was all knuckled down, and it was a great time. Yeah,
how good. So then you eventually got into camp. And then you've now had, again, what's become one of the great meme photos. It could be go down. People will compare it to the Joey photo on the skateboard. You leaving the grand final bender, going straight into camp and look like you were doing it really tough in that team photo. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think you're going to get into Joey territory with that photo, with that meme, or how are you feeling? How were you feeling when you were in camp for the first couple of days?
And that was literally the first day. Photos, and that was the night. That was the day I had to sign to do so. There was a person waiting at the front for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Me trying to convince myself that I was going in the camp. So then we got to the Gold Coast, and I was still off no sleep, and I was in and out of like half asleep going to the Gold Coast. So I was in and out, maybe an hour and a half sleep.
Yeah.
Got into the camp, and I got told we had to do team photos, and I just looked at them and said, "You've got to be kidding me." They're like, no,
surely give you another day.
Yeah, give me one more day. Like, look at me. And then we literally got to the spot and we were doing our team photos, and I said, "Oh, this won't take long." We had to do singles, we had to do team photos, and we had to do the spine as well, and do like the lights and everything. So couldn't imagine what I was looking like in those other photos. But mate, I was pretty much falling asleep in the team photo.
Yeah, it did look like that, and because of that, it's become legendary. You've obviously gone on to now win the series after winning the grand final. I think a lot of the punters respect you even more for that. It's one of those things where you look like you're doing it dusty, but I think I spoke about it on his little show yesterday. It's probably going to go down in folklore now. So very proud that you were able to do that, mate. Step up to the plate after doing it so tough for 4 or 5 days and getting the job done.
No, there's only one Joey, boys, and Dusty. So very grateful to be in that category, but got a long way to go.
Yeah, well, maybe you get on the podium, little third place, you get a bronze medal, sit behind the fourth place. Who's the third then?
Participation medal.
All right, mate. Leading on to the Origin, let's talk a little bit about the Origin. I want to ask you where this one compares, because the start of your career, you come on the back end of that run with probably the greatest ever Origin team assembled, playing with the greats. Where does it compare winning the Origin with those boys compared to winning it with what some say, Paul Gallen, the worst Origin team of all time?
Oh, it's a hard one, Scope. I guess making your debut with the big three and you play all your footy with them for the last 6 or 7 years, and to guest debut in the Maroon as a young fellow watching it on Wednesday nights with having pizza with your family is up there. But like you said, mate, to play a series by yourself where no one really gave you any chance with all the young debutants and with Mel and Wayne, they're the reason why we probably won it. They just gave us so much confidence in those young blokes, and you've seen some of the young blokes step up to the big stage. And Harry Grant, Xavier Cope played a pretty good 2 games. Obviously, he couldn't play for the third one, but to some of them young blokes that you wouldn't even heard of and names, and you're thinking, you're scratching your head, going, "Mate, why are they in the team?" Just it was such a great feeling. And you obviously would have seen after the game, everyone was rubbing shoulders and hugging and pretty much kissing each other, because it meant so much to Queensland and to us. We knew we weren't the greatest side, but you know what it's like when you're playing in big games. All you need is the right attitude and work hard for each other, and it gets the job done. Yeah,
well, a couple of things you mentioned there. I know you're normally a pretty humble guy. You like having a laugh, but whenever you talk about accolades and whatnot, even just chatting to you while we're up there, not only you, but a lot of the other boys kept on mentioning the influence that Wayne and Mel had in the camp in particular. And then I'll touch on another thing, but do you want to talk on that a little bit more as well? Like, what is it, bro? Because I know there's experience and, like, Mel's done it before, but what was there one thing that you can identify that sort of they instilled in the group that made you feel like you were confident enough to get the job done, especially considering you said you had so many debutants?
Yeah, it was just standards. Ches, you've played with him, you know what he's like. All the older blokes have been there and done it, and a lot of young blokes were coming into the camp, like, looking up to us, had been idols of us, and me and Ches and all that looked at each other going, we haven't done anything. Like it's just crazy. Like, for example, we were drinking that night, and Xavier Coates stood up and said, "Cam, you need to have 2 shots with me because I looked up to you as a young fella." And I looked at him going, "You've got to be kidding me, mate!" Like,
he's the best kid ever too, by the way, eh?
Yeah, and he was piping up, and he never usually pipes up, and that just shows where everyone was no one was beneath anyone, and everyone was on the same page, and we all respected each other in the group, and regardless if you played or you didn't, we all have respect and mutual respect for each other being in the camp. And if you're in the camp, we know you're there to do a job. And I guess Wayne just put all that confidence in us. And the biggest thing that hit me on the head was that day we were supposed to play, we were just about to get on the bus, and he showed the team of 2017 with a big photo of celebrating with a shield and said, "Boys, do you want to be partying like that tonight, or do you want to be partying with your head down in your heads and just wishing what?" So, yeah, it obviously gave us a lot of boost and confidence when we went into the game. And, I'll never forget it.
That's unreal, bro. You mentioned Harry just before. I've got written down here as I was calling him Baby Goat, which he was reluctant. He was reluctant to answer back to while we're up there. Is he got next? How impressed were you from his debut? Being, a Storm teammate. Obviously, played at the Tigers this year, but you spent a bit of time with him at the Storm. And were there any other Origin debutants that impressed you? I think you mentioned Xavier. Any other guys that sort of stood up? What's your thoughts on Harry and the other debutants?
Yeah, funny, if not many people know Scope, but I actually played with his older brother, George, back in Rocky.
So you've known him for a minute.
I've known him for ages. Played all my school footy against his brother. And funny enough, his old man was the one that put me on to the recruitment manager at the Storm.
Oh, yeah?
His dad had a bit of time at the Brennans. I was obviously at a different high school, but he just said, "Mate, give this kid a look," and it went from there. So I've always been forever in his debt for passing me on. So I've obviously got to look after the young fella now. The Baby Goat, just the way he trains, he plays like he trains, and as you can see, he creates things out of nothing, and he's just a footballer, and he just runs the ball, and things tend to happen for him when he runs the ball, and that's why he's a Baby Goat. First game in Origin, decider. Worst team of Origin, and he puts a bit of performance on like that. And unfortunately, the Tigers lose him. We're obviously trying to keep him, and it's a great news for the next decade for Queensland. I'm sure he'll be captain of this team soon, and that's how much respect he got from him as a player. And people just tend to play with him, and it's a massive rap, and he deserves it.
Yeah, I think the one thing that always stands out with you guys, and knowing you boys a little bit now, because I think I've said this before to you, I always used to hate Melbourne back in the day. We had a bit of a rivalry during my days at Manly and Melbourne. But whenever I've met any of the Melbourne boys, no matter what they've achieved throughout the time, they're always really humble. And Harry seems like he's You know, he's the same sort of guy. He's level-headed. He didn't want to be called the baby goat because it felt like it embarrassed him. So just another reason to love the kid. What about any other guys that you stood up? Like you mentioned, Xavier Coates was really good in game 1 and game 2. Game 2 was a bit harder because results didn't go your way, and you probably wouldn't have seen much of the game. But I thought Capey was unreal, mate. Considering his
Capes
filling in where he would.
Yeah, like you said, Capes. Corey Allen was really good at training as well. He's just got real good silky hands. He's not one of them fullbacks that runs the ball back hard and is going to dint the line like a Val Holmes or anything like that. But just him at the back of shape and his presence around the ball really showed. He's, like you said, that first try was off him. He caught.
Yeah, very silky.
Very silky hands. And that's what you want from your fullback. Obviously, you need him to run the ball back as hard as he can at times as well. But he comes to his own, especially around that try line to that 20-metre line, and really execute his passes and scores tries. So that's what you want in a fullback. But, he's going to be something special as well. I don't know what's going on with South, but I'm sure some club will pick him up. Xavier, it's hard, mate. He's got a bit of Jarrell and a bit of GI in him. He's still raw and he's still big and athletic, and just the way he jumps for that ball, and he's just got that presence about him. And it's just so much special to see him play.
Yeah, that's unreal. And he always seems like he's proper, even just like in the celebrations too, was sitting on the hill. I was talking about that interview that he had. He still got like this massive, big, cheesy grin on his dial.
Yeah.
He was proper enjoying every moment of it, mate. And those are the times when you look and you understand that's the reason you love footy. And speaking about that time in Byron, up on the hill, the fish was supposed to turn up, mate. What happened to the fish? You let us down.
Don't get me started. I mean, I was calling him all hours of the morning, all hours of the night, trying to get him there because I got some of the boys to stay an extra night because I was that confident he was coming. And he ended up texting me on Sunday morning going, "Oh, sorry, mate, I had a big weekend." And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
He ended up hanging out with Dusty and Kevy and that, so I could imagine why he didn't turn up. But I was pretty filthy. But in saying that, I think they needed 2 or 3 days of a pass because he lives in Gold Coast and he going in this out of the border. I'm not fairly sure he didn't have one, so. That's all right. Yeah. He said he owes me one, so it's not a bad person to owe to. So I'll make sure I take it up soon.
Yeah, make sure you get me the invite for that too, because I'll be coming back up.
You're always invited, Scope.
What about we got a little spray in the me and Sandor got a little spray in the Daily Mail too yesterday, hanging out with the Prez, few washed up retired NRL players hanging out with the Prez and just living off his coattails, wearing his medal around. Geez, they got us good there.
Oh, mate, I honestly didn't even see the paparazzi there, to be honest with you, Scope. I was looking around everywhere. I was thinking someone's surely going to take something, but they got us a beauty. But, yeah, a bit disrespectful, to be honest, talking about being washed up. I think you and Shandor can still play the game and at a high level. There's no doubt about that at all. But, yeah, obviously media trying to hype it up and do a bit of clickbait so people can watch it and get a bit amongst it. So, it's pretty shit on their end, but I guess that's the world we live in at the moment. People are just going to try and do whatever it takes to get a bit of clickbait. But nothing but respect for you two boys, and really enjoyed my time with you in Byron.
Well, look, I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't to save me life. That was a good weekend. Like you said, probably just a slow news day and not much doing. And you know what? I'm just happy to get a mention these days anyway. So it's good for the Scope podcast. Even if I get caught washed up, it's a good little spray to get. All right,
it's annoying when they say that because they haven't played the game. They don't know what it's like. So.
Oh, wait a minute! And by the way, we've got one more person that wants to weigh in on the. He wants to jump in on the Zoom call, so we'll see if we can get him in, and he can have his 2 cents.
Oh, here we go. Who is it? This will be good.
Have we got him?
Hey,
he's got the face mask
get out
on
of
as well.
town.
Bro, we're doing masks in Melbourne, mate.
Do I have
Honestly,
a YKTR face mask here? Can we get a YKTR face mask?
Something.
Oh, mate, what's he doing?
It's funny you called in. It's funny you called in, Sandor, because me and Money were just going in. We were just talking about sitting. Here we go, boys. Have we all got the face masks on?
Are we doing this?
Give me a second.
I'm filthy that I have to wear it.
There you go. Can you still hear me through this?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
No, fuck it off.
Any chance I can get a face mask? Something.
Yeah, we'll send you one, mate. Now that we're washed up, we got to live off the freebies, mate. Well, I was just talking to Prez. Geez, me and you got hammered for hanging out with him.
Oh, geez, didn't we what? Geez, the proper sidekicks.
And
mate.
I got a question from one of the degenerates, and I want to know if you can answer this for us, Sandor. The question was, how many chicks did you pull with the Wally Lewis medal?
Well, here we go. Here, the debate is, how much credit are we going to give to the Wally Lewis medal? There's been a couple of different posts thrown around. Some support from a couple of different NRL banter accounts on Instagram, which I'm very grateful for. Which is sort of set the
Daily
record
Blue was
straight.
a giggle.
Exactly right. Yes, thank you. But
you want the
look,
G-rated
there's some
version or
worse
the R-rated?
photos. I mean, you could have snapped me wearing the premiership ring and the Wally Lewis medal. Then there really would have been a fucking uproar.
Yeah, I think I said.
Oh, don't worry. I looked at my ring. It's dented as you've dropped it that many times.
Oh, here we go.
I think we all had a go at some point wearing it, and I pretty much wore it for the whole time at the house party. So I'm glad there were no photos taken back there.
Oh, mate, hell the hecker.
But yeah, thanks for coming in and clarifying that, brother. How are you traveling? You back down to Melbourne now?
Yeah, back into it. Got the F45 kit on, back in the grind. You know, the us washed up lads. We're running podcasts. We're back in the gym, so we're just doing our best. You know, just a couple of battlers.
Yeah, mate.
Couple of demons out there.
Hey, well, you know what I said? I said to Prez just before. I said, now that we're retired and washed up, any publicity is good publicity for us at the moment. So, if it gets people talking about the Scope podcast, we'll take it.
Hey, correct. I'll be throwing on a party shirt this weekend. Send down the Wally Lewis medal, and I'll see how successful it goes in Melbourne, boys.
You know what we need to do? We need to make a little medal and have Sandor's face on it.
Yes. Yes.
And then just go around
let's send it to Wally Lewis.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, if Wally gets a start off the back of it, well, then fucking proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
As it is, mate. The proof is in the pudding.
I think your lemon spread's looking a bit better than his at the moment, but long live the king. All right.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Thanks for coming in and clarifying that, Dor.
Doing a podcast, lads, it's a pleasure.
Doing a podcast with the GOAT today as well, are you? Bloke in the bar?
Nah, well, we'd already done it.
Oh, okay, but it's dropping today.
Hope that's not a trade secret that it's pre-recorded. But yeah, that drops today, so that'll be pretty cool. Always good to chat to Denham, the bloke in a bar. So check it out. Life story, you know, the usual bits.
How good. We'll be tuning into that a little bit later on then. Thanks for stopping in, brother.
All right, lads, later.
See you, bro.
There we go. Clarified. All done. Let's get on to a few questions from the degenerates. I've got about 5 or 6 here for you to finish off, Prez.
No dramas at all. Still lucky he left. I couldn't get a word in.
Yeah. Speaking of that, was there leading on from the trip? Was there a little misdemeanor between you and Sandor on the balcony? So one of the degenerates has asked about that.
Yeah, funny enough, obviously we're having a bit of a giggle about me and Sandor in the ring, and I was telling him I'd knock his head off, and obviously can't fight myself out of a wet paper bag, but just cheat him up a bit more, and obviously the beers got to both of us, and one comment from myself, and he started seeing red and come over and pushed me over, and I guess it got a little bit heated from there, and then but we sorted it out like men, and had a bit of a chat, and still good mates, and yeah, I guess if you don't have a bit of an argument with one of your mates on the piss, then it's not a good time. Yeah,
I feel like I'm half to blame for that. I got it stirred up by putting up a story, and then all of a sudden, Sandor launches across the table and grabs President a little chokehold, and I go, "Is this legit? What's going on?" I had to get in there and get the boys apart. We went downstairs, they had a good chat in the alleyway for about half an hour. No fisticuffs were thrown. It was just a bit of banter between mates, and we moved on. And I think that's why we went to the hill and got on the piss together again.
I think that was the reason why we did, so we couldn't happen again.
Yeah.
One
of the other questions is Remus Smith signing for you. Said a little low-key good signing for you. He's got a bit of talent. What's your thoughts on him? He's probably going to slide over to the right side now that Sully's gone. Do you think that's where we'll probably end up?
Yeah, look, great talent. You obviously seen what he does at the Bulldogs, and he's really good in the air. Just ask him. He pretty much posterised my backup one stage there in the sunny coast. So I'll remind him of that. My back's still sore from that, actually. So, yeah, great talent, good in the air, good carries out of the back. So he'd be a really good signing for us. I'm sure I'm sure Craig, got Wayne in my head. I'm sure Craig will do
good things with him. He's all about work ethic and hard work, and if he can do that, he'll pretty much cement his spot in the side. And all he has to just worry about is running the ball hard and getting the ball back and scoring tries. And if he does that for us, it'll be a very successful year for us again.
Yeah, be on the back end of a few of your kicks rather than jumping on your back this time.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Well, you boys always seem to get the best out of those players. They've got a bit of talent, probably haven't been at the best team, and then they come to you guys and they kick on. Another one of the questions was, if the borders were still open, would me and you still be on a Larry together?
I'd love to hope so, Scope. I think a couple of hours sleep would do us justice, but I think we'd love to go again. There's no doubt about it. 1st of December, the borders open, so I hope the kennel's ready for a little, even if it's a little dog bed, I'll be there ready to go. Yeah,
we got a spot for you when you come down. There's, I hear there might be a little YKTR party happening halfway. That was a little mad little noise you made then. It was like a little, So maybe that might be a good time to come pop down and have another little Larry, have another little beer with us.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Nothing better than having a Larry with the Scope.
In such a small amount of time, what's more rewarding for you from the winning the Origin or winning the Premiership in the last month? Considering the situations with COVID, obviously, because spending a lot of time in the bubble and then obviously not getting to see your family, going straight into camp again and spending a lot of time in the bubble with the Origin. It's a hard question. It's like answering who your favourite kid is.
Yeah, Jesus. I would have to say, I know how proud Queensland is of the Origin and wanting us to win it, and I'm glad we won it for them. They deserved it. So many Queensland fans come out to us, but I'd have to say the Premiership, Scope. Working that hard during the preseason, 2 or 3 months with all your teammates. As much as I love my teammates for Queensland, you only see them probably 3 weeks of the year, but you come together like you've seen them all year. It's got that bond. But I'd have to say the Storm Premiership, mate, just because of what happened in Melbourne and all the coronavirus that happened. There's so many people doing it tough down there with their businesses and people pretty much not being able to do anything for 6 months. Going for a 5K walk, if that, for an hour. So an hour exercise was the only thing they got for probably 4 to 6 months, and they were doing a lot tougher than us. We were living up on the Sunshine Coast, even though we were still in a bubble and we couldn't do much. It was still able to go for a swim, have a coffee at the resort, even though we were blocked off from civilization and the public. We still got to see people and our families and kids, and I guess that was something that I really took for granted. Obviously, with you guys and Byron, I haven't obviously been out and had a drink with other people and at pubs and had a feed and stuff, and you can't even dance, you can't even get up and do whatever you want. You got to just sit at the table and you're pretty much bar service. So yeah, I really took it for granted, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it happens soon and we can all go out and have a boogie.
100%. Get back to normality as quickly as possible. Do you have any pre-game rituals? Yeah,
I do actually. Funny enough, I always get strapped maybe 15 minutes before we go out. Always run out last, and I always put my left sock on and my left boot on before I do my right sock and my right boot. That's always my formality and routine. If I screw that up, I pretty much got to go and do it all over again. So it's pretty funny. I know I come around as a laid-back guy, but that's just 3 things that I really focus on that I need to get right.
Yeah, I think a lot of boys have got those quirky little, whether it be massage or having a little stretch at certain times. And I know I used to have a game day ritual and like a game day feed and whatnot. What
was yours?
I used to eat sushi every game day. Hey,
really?
Yeah. And I used to be the same thing. I used to be an hour before we ran out, I'd go get a massage, and sometimes it would throw me off if I wasn't, because you know how you can do as soon as you get in there, because you get in there an hour and a half before the game.
Yeah.
All the boys come and put their names on the list. And I used to always go to leave a bit of a gap and put myself 4th or 5th, because that was always about an hour before it. But sometimes the boys would come and put 6 names above you. Hold on.
Oh,
I think we're about to lose. We've got 10 minutes left remaining. Oh, yeah, we've got 10 minutes left. That's all right. Some of the boys would come and squeeze them in above you. And if I was rushed, because you know how you feel just before you're about to go warm up, if you're rushed,
100%.
Got to get a massage quick, got to get strapped quick. It used to proper rattle me. So those are some things, a few things that I used to try to get going before. A little 2 questions. They're 2 punting questions because people love us on the SBC. What's your favourite punting story? And what's your thoughts on the Prez today winning? The Munster winning today in Morphettville.
Yeah, I've got 2 punting stories. I'll be real quick. The first one is the old man tipped me a $101 tip at Toowoomba. And I obviously threw it in the group chat with us and said, boys, I've got a tip here, $101. Do what you like with it. I don't know if I'll win, but I've got a massive tip on it. Obviously won, and won the boys a couple of thousand, but some of the boys didn't get on it and they were a bit filthy about it. But the other one is obviously been a degenerate. I can't even say the word. That's how good I am.
Yeah, proper degenerate.
Yeah, proper one. I actually pretended to put money into my account, and I always do this. And I just pretend to put $8,000 on this horse, and it ended up winning. And I didn't even back it. It got to 80,000, and I was like, no, threw it on a $10 thing, and it won. So I would have won 800,000. And I've never told anyone this, but it still hurts to this day. And I watched the race, and I said, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
What do you mean? So you pretend to put money on it and then take it out and then don't follow through for a giggle?
Yeah, just don't follow through for a giggle.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I just did it to myself, and I looked at myself and I went, "Holy hecker! I'd be able to give up footy for a couple of years." But obviously it wasn't meant to be, and still kick myself about it. But that's life.
Oh, good.
For Munster, Jesus. It's a top weight. Obviously, got a apprentice on it with a 1.5 kilo claim. I've actually, funny enough, had the owner ring me and ask me if I wanted to have a share in it. Talked to my manager about it. He wasn't too keen on it, but if it's anything like its person at the moment, it's a bit erratic. It might come out of the gates looking a bit scabby, but at the end of the day, it'll run down and do its best like Scope does. So fingers crossed it gets up for the boys.
Well, no, it's like you mentioned before, mate. Like it's got a bit of weight on it, but I mentioned it in my little write-up in the SBC. You've got the weight. You had the weight of Queensland on you, and you still got the job done, brother. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We're backed it in the SBC today. I appreciate you coming on, brother. That one went a little bit longer than last time, but thanks for coming on, brother. Skipper and Prez, episode 2. Shit, baby.
Thanks, Scopey boys. Shit, baby. Thanks, boys. All the best,
brother. See you soon.
Love you too.